In today's video, I'm going to go over how to improve your Wkeying in both arena and tournaments. Wkeying is such an important skill to have, and it's crucial if you want to become a pro, so mastering it is so important. With all that being said, I'm going to keep this intro short. Let's get right into it. Before I get into the tips, I just wanted to say that if you're not in champs, or if you just hit champs recently, or you're stuck at 6k points, go ahead and watch my video called How to Get to Champs in One Day. That video will help you out a lot more than this one. Wkeying is going to be hard if you struggle to get to champs, because Wkeying is a really hard thing to do, and even people with 20k, 30k arena points still struggle to Wkey. So if you're struggling to get to champs, I would wait on Wkeying. Go ahead and watch that video, wait a little, wait till you master fighting in arena, then come back to this video and learn Wkeying. Okay, hopping straight into it, the first thing I want to talk about is confidence. I feel like I talk about confidence every other video, but it's because it's so important, especially in Wkeying. If you want to get good at Wkeying, you have to believe you're the best in the lobby you're in. If you see a fight and think to yourself, those players are better than me, then you're probably not going to want to Wkey that fight. But if you approach that fight thinking you're 100 times better than the people you're fighting, Wkeying is going to be so much easier. If you don't think you're good enough to Wkey yet, find out what's holding you back and work on it in creative. VOD reviewing how you die can help you find what you're struggling with and will help you improve so much faster. I recommend VOD reviewing with the in-game replay system and looking at your deaths from your opponent's perspective, because it's much easier to see what you did wrong that way. To wrap it all up, if you don't feel you're ready to Wkey, work on the things you struggle with in creative, and if you do feel ready, play confident and believe in yourself. If you're just starting out Wkeying, ease into it. Don't go from fighting no one to fighting everyone you see. Start out fighting 25% of the fights you see, then after a week move on to 50%, and work your way up until you feel confident Wkeying every single person you run into. The next thing I want to talk about is aim. If you watch people like Vidal and Noah Rayleigh, they win the majority of their fights just because of how good their aim is. Obviously their mechanics are insane, but mechanics are nothing without good aim. My next video is going to be a more in-depth aiming guide, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that, but I'll go over the key tips now. If you're on controller, I recommend the 200 pump only map by Panville. I'll have the code for it in the description. This map is so good for shotgun aim, and I recommend doing 1 to 2 rounds of it every day. How this map works is you regenerate health every second, so the only way you can kill someone is with the 200 pump. If you're on keyboard, I recommend doing that map as well as Raider's new 1v1 aim duel map. Again, I'll have the code for it in the description. This map is so good because not only does it have classic aim duels, it also has glider aim training and a new shotgun flick mode. I think it's called 1x1 react or something like that. This map helps you with your shotgun aim, your SMG aim, your AR aim, and your glider aim. If you have a friend to do it with, that's great, but if you don't, you can matchmake with another person, which is usually what I end up doing. If you have Kovacs or another aim training software outside of Fortnite, you can still do those, but I'm not going to go over them just because most of them cost money. Aim is the most important thing in Fortnite and in any shooter, so make sure you aren't slacking on aim training. I recommend spending at least 10 to 20% of your day aim training, depending on how good your aim already is. So if you play for 5 hours a day, aim train for 30 to 45 minutes a day. Okay, so I'm going to talk about a few more things. The first is pretty much making your opponent scared. If you're in an arena game and you look over and you see a maniac triple editing and doing high ground retakes towards you, you're probably going to get scared and panic and tell yourself you have no chance of winning this fight. When that happens, you've already lost the fight. That's how you want to make your opponents feel. 99% of players will panic, and unless you're fighting a pro, they probably won't stay completely calm. Cranking and edit coursing not only makes your opponent scared, but it also gives you confidence. Anytime I free build before a fight in arena, my confidence goes way up and I play way better. I'm not saying crank to max height and waste all your mats. What I am saying is do a few triple edits or high ground retakes, use at most 200 mats. The next really important thing is ending fights fast. If every fight you get in takes 5 minutes, you're not going to be able to drop high kill games because you're only going to be able to get in 5 fights a game. Pros are so good at ending fights in seconds and they make it look easy, but it's one of the hardest skills to master. If the person you're fighting isn't great, most of the time you want to break their shield and then jump in their box. Don't just go around jumping in everyone's boxes. I know some pros do that, but unless your aim is pro level, most of the time that doesn't work. If the person you're fighting is good, you need to be using phasing tricks. By phasing tricks, I mean placing your builds through their builds. Whether it's a ramp or a cone, phasing tricks will help you end fights 10 times faster. The last thing I want to talk about is your drop spot. If you want to drop 20 bombs, getting kills off spawn is so important. Most videos on Wkeying will tell you to land lazy or believer to get 5 to 7 kills off spawn, but that is not what I recommend. Off spawn fighting is half RNG and half skill, and landing at places that are contested by 10 people makes it almost impossible to survive off spawn. If you watch top tier pros play arena, they'll usually hot drop at places that are heavily contested, and even they only survive 50% of the time. Most of you watching will survive off spawn 15 to 25% of your games, which not only means you lose arena points, but it also means you're wasting your time and not getting good practice. I would recommend picking 2 to 3 of these drop spots I'm about to go over and mastering them, learning to survive them 75% of the time. Okay, so the drop spots I recommend are Holly, Steamy, Dirty, Craggy, Misty, Slurpy, and Retail. For me, Steamy, Misty, and Retail are my favorites, but any of those work. Now, why those drop spots? Well, these spots usually have around 5 people landing there. They aren't Lazy and Believer with 10 where it's really hard to survive, but they aren't Coral and Weeping where there's 2 people and it's impossible to drop 20 bombs. They're right in the middle, you can survive them and still drop high kill games, which is perfect for Wkeying. That's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. Those of you that have watched my previous videos know what time it is. It is time for the emoji. Today's emoji is a water bottle emoji. If you made it to the end, comment a water bottle emoji so I know who made it all the way to the end of the video, so I know who's loyal. Thank you guys so much. We've been growing so fast. We're almost at 250 subs. We might even be at 250 subs by the time this video goes up. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.